The Mandela Memory, the Day Reality Split. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and what you're about to hear isn't just a story about memory. It's a story about reality, about how one moment, one man, might have shattered our timeline. Imagine this. The year is somewhere in the mid-1980s. You're watching the news. A breaking story flashes across the screen. Nelson Mandela, anti-apartheid revolutionary and political prisoner, has died in prison. You remember the announcement. You remember the black and white footage. You remember world leaders reacting. You remember candlelight vigils, classroom discussions, and people openly weeping over the death of a man who never got to see freedom. And now, you're being told that none of that ever happened. In this version of the timeline, Mandela was released in 1990. He became president of South Africa in 1994. He lived another 2 decades and died in 2013. And if you remember anything else, you're told it's a glitch in your memory. A lapse. A psychological hiccup. Nothing more than a false collective impression. But what if it wasn't a glitch in your brain? What if it was a glitch in the simulation? The Mandela effect, as it would come to be called, was named after this precise fracture point. Fiona Broome, a researcher and paranormal author, was the first to publicly question this strange discrepancy. At a conference in 2009, she casually mentioned Mandela's death in the 1980s, only to find that others remembered the same thing, with the same intensity and vividness. The conversation snowballed. Online forums lit up. Strangers from around the world realized they shared a common, non-existent memory. This wasn't just a rumor. It wasn't misremembered gossip or foggy trivia. This was full emotional recall. Candlelight vigils, celebrity tributes, teachers discussing it with students. People remembered being moved by it, shaped by it. In some cases, they remembered it shaping their political views. And yet, here, in this version of history, there was no record of it ever happening. What makes this so disturbing isn't just the memory itself. It's the scale of agreement. It's the number of people who didn't just misremember a thing. They remembered the same thing in vivid detail, as if it happened yesterday. This moment became the naming seed for the larger phenomenon now known as the Mandela effect, an umbrella term for all those strange discrepancies where memory and official reality fall out of alignment. But this original moment, the Mandela memory, wasn't just the first. It may have been the root fracture, the first documented timeline split visible to the masses. So today, we aren't just revisiting that glitch. We're examining the possibility that Mandela's not death wasn't just a misremembered moment, but a pivot point in collective consciousness. A day reality cracked, and no one noticed until it was too late. To understand how significant this is, we need to talk about memory, not as a neurological process, but as a metaphysical marker. Memory is how we know where we are. It's how we trust our past. It's how we validate that we are still in the same world. So when a memory of that magnitude is dismissed, overwritten, and erased, something deeper than confusion happens. Something spiritual. Something destabilizing. It creates a rift between the soul's record and the system's record. And yet, we are told to dismiss it, to chalk it up to faulty wiring, to let it go. But we didn't let it go. Instead, we remembered louder. In this documentary, we're going to examine this event like an autopsy. We'll lay out what people remember, what the records say, and the ripples that followed. We'll look at whether the Mandela memory was a psychological illusion, a dimensional overlay, or a timeline insertion. And we'll ask the unspoken question, was Mandela's life preserved in one timeline, only to be sacrificed in another? We'll talk to people who recall candlelight vigils in the 1980s. We'll show digital residue, books, articles, interviews, that reference a version of history that no longer exists. And we'll examine how something like this could even be possible. Could it be quantum entanglement, timeline convergence, AI-assisted memory redaction? Or was Mandela's not death the ultimate spiritual test? One that asked, will you trust your soul's record or the system's version? And most importantly, we'll explore the possibility that this wasn't just a memory error, but a signal. A signal that something, sometime around the mid-1980s, changed. Not symbolically, literally. That our collective track jumped, and with it, our internal alignment to reality. Because if millions of people remember an event that never officially happened, and that event becomes the root of an entire class of anomalies, then that memory matters. Maybe it wasn't the day Nelson Mandela died that changed the world. Maybe it was the day he didn't. And maybe the real Mandela effect is that his continued life marks the beginning of an alternate timeline, one that would unravel the very idea of objective reality over the decades that followed. This isn't a biography. This is a breach report. And now that you've remembered, you can't go back. Stay with me as we examine the memory that shouldn't exist, and the reality that replaced it. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas, 11x published author, and what you just watched was only a taste of what's inside the Truth series, where we go all the way down the rabbit hole. If you're the kind of person who's always asking bigger questions, who knows there's more to this world than what we've been told, then this is your invitation to the series that was built for you. Inside the Truth series, you'll get full access to 6 mind-blowing sub-series designed to wake up your highest intelligence and decode the matrix we live in. 1. Locate the truth. Learn how to actually research, not just what to search, but how to verify, cross-reference, read declassified files, and protect your own mind from weaponized misinformation. This is truth-seeking decoded. 2. The Mandela effect. Are we shifting timelines? Why do so many people remember a different past? We break down the most bizarre, undeniable examples of reality glitches and what they tell us about consciousness and control. 3. Law is magic. Law is not what you think it is. From word spells to maritime law and hidden contracts, we uncover how legal systems use language like a wand and how to stop being tricked by fine print that binds you without consent. 4. Entertainment or ritual. The Hollywood and music industries are not just for entertainment. From Super Bowl rituals to Grammy stage symbolism, we decode what's really being shown, who it serves, and why mass consciousness is the target. 5. Decoding dystopia. Ever wondered why dystopian fiction feels prophetic? In this subseries, we decode popular films and books, Hunger Games, 1984, Black Mirror, to reveal the hidden blueprints and predictive programming behind the plot. 6. MK Ultra plus mind control programs. This one gets deep. From real MK Ultra documents to modern symbolism in media, we expose how mind control operates in plain sight and how to free yourself from manipulation you didn't even know was happening. And that's just the beginning. If this resonated with you, click the links below and join us inside the Full Truth series, because the more you know, the harder you are to control. This is your awakening. We don't just ask questions, we find answers. Let's go all the way down the rabbit hole together.